It is hockey night in Laval, Quebec, as PWHL Montreal hosts New York in its second home game, its first at Place Bell. And so for many Montreal players, it's a second chance at a home opener. I'm Daniela Ponticelli alongside Becky Keller for tonight's game. And Becky, it has been 6 days since Montreal's statement home win, road win over New York. And it was something. Marie-Philippe Poulin scores her first PWHL goal and then a hat trick. But now it's another moment, fast forward to Saturday's home opener, that people are talking about Poulin.
Marie-Philippe Poulin, who may be one of the most clutch hockey players in Canada. We're used to seeing her do this in a Team Canada jersey. This time, she did it in a Montreal jersey. It appeared as though she had the huge goal to win this game in overtime for her team. Unfortunately, to be denied. She makes that initial pass to Laura Stacey, comes in, cleans up the garbage in front for the goal, in front of the huge crowd. The crowd goes crazy, the team celebrates, and the referees call it back, just to have Boston go down the ice and spoil the party and take that one in overtime.
And the atmosphere sure was something. We asked Poulin about that moment before the game.
We just got to focus on ourselves. Obviously, every team is going to battle, and obviously Boston showed up. They came back, winning overtime, and for us, just keep the puck deep, keep the pressure on them, and go from there.
So Montreal loses 3-2 in overtime, but for New York, they push Team Minnesota into overtime as well, tied at 2 at that. And it's a big feat as they had to mount the comeback down 2-0 earlier in the game. And who else but Emma Woods to come in and take the moment?
Well, and what a moment for Emma Woods. This is a player that played with the Toronto Six last year. Kevin Greco, her assistant coach, told me this is a big game player. She scores big goals and big moments, and now we're seeing it here in the PWHL. She came up huge for her team. It was a big comeback win to send it to overtime. Zumwinkle gets taken down. We're going to see our first ever overtime penalty shot, and she is denied, one of the most prolific goal scorers in this league right now. This opens the door for Emma Woods to come through the neutral zone, keep her feet moving, pull that puck back, fire, and win it for her team in overtime. That's a huge win for New York.
We had to ask Emma Woods before this game about that moment and that win for New York.
Yeah, obviously it's important for our team. You know, we were coming off a couple losses at home, and we wanted to get some momentum coming into this road trip here in Montreal. So it was an important win for us as a group, and I think, you know, there's a lot of character moments in the last game for us, and obviously coming back from a 2-0 deficit in the first, I think it showed a lot of good things and, you know, things we've been working on. So we were proud of that, and, you know, we're looking to bring that into today's game.
Well, this is the second road game of 4 in a row for New York, and right now, road teams are ruling the PWHL. They actually have 8 of the first 10 wins, Becky. Minnesota being the only team so far to win on home ice, and that's why Montreal wants this one so bad they could be the first Canadian team.
Well, you take a look at the standings right now, and it's Minnesota that's leading the way with 10 points. They've been getting it done, and they've been getting it done in regulation. This is a big night here for Montreal to gain some ground.
Well, the teams are ready to play tonight, but we do have some players to watch, presented to you by Woody Creek Distillers.
Alex Carpenter is our first player to watch, and this is a player with elite skill. She can score. I had the opportunity to talk to her college coach from Boston College, Katie King. She said she is the most competitive, hard-working player she's ever coached. Her determination, her drive to help her team win is second to none. You combine that with elite skill, you got a dangerous player on your hands. And for Montreal, Laura Stacey, there's another player with some elite skill, and for her, it is elite speed. She's going to get in on the forecheck. You're going to see her on the power play, on the penalty kill, 5-on-5, every situation. She is a threat.
Well, tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Tim Hortons.
Some interesting changes for this New York team. Abby Rock has moved up from the second line center to the wing with Alex Carpenter. Look for that to be a dangerous combination. Of course, Alice Shelton on D. She's leading this league right now with 6 points. A lot of offensive threats in that lineup. And when we take a look at Montreal's lineup, they've got some offensive threats too. Of course, Marie-Philippe Poulin, Laura Stacey, Kristen O'Neill, and Sophie Bette. That's a dangerous combination. And Erin Ambrose on the point scored a big goal for this team last game.
And also notable, the last time these two teams played, a different goaltending matchup. So we'll get to all that and more just ahead when puck drops here at Place Bell as Montreal vies to be the first Canadian PWHL team to get a win at home. Plays its second home game, but it's first at Place Bell in Laval, Quebec. And it does feel like a second chance at a home opener. That's what players are telling us heading into tonight's game. A beautiful winter's day into a nice calm evening, although inside Place Bell, certainly a lot of energy to be expected between this matchup of Montreal and New York.
Well, absolutely. And this is a second homecoming for Montreal, a second home opener. But if you're this New York team, you want a little bit of revenge. You took your biggest loss at the hands of Montreal just a few days back.
And your starting goaltenders, a new matchup between these two teams as Corinne Schroeder goes to the net. She faced 41 shots in Sunday's game against Minnesota. She's faced the most in the PWHL so far, 104. And she has done a tremendous job so far for New York, helping her team out. And in net tonight for Montreal, Anne-Renée Desbiens, she's got the second most minutes after Schroeder. She's made 63 saves on 70 shots, and this is her fourth start.
Well, we've focused a lot on the offensive prowess of both of these teams, but this is really a goaltender's duel as well. Corinne Schroeder's got some of the best numbers right now in this league, and you look at her at a sub-2 goals against average. Her save percentage is a .942, so it's pretty impressive stuff. Of course, Anne-Renée Desbiens, Team Canada's #1 goaltender. If you watch international hockey, you're certainly familiar with that face. You've seen a lot of her. She has the ability to keep this team in games.
And while we're talking about Schroeder, it's actually Abigail Levy who will be taking the net for New York. And hey, how about that? That's exciting. She actually was in net against Montreal the last time they played. And so there she is.
Well, and they got a lot of faith in both goaltenders because, like you said, they've played both of them. This is a big goalie coming in at 6'1". She takes up a lot of the net. We'll take a look at the bench bosses for both these teams. Corey Chevry, and of course we talked extensively about her experience a little bit in the NHL. She's been behind the bench with Team Canada as well, and now leading the way here in Montreal for this Montreal team.
And over on the bench for New York, it's Howie Draper, the winningest coach in U Sports. And he's been enjoying his time in New York. I had a chance to chat with him before that league opener, and what a change from Edmonton, Alberta, but he's loving it.
Well, he was in Edmonton for 25 years. I'm sure it is a big change for him now in New York.
And the captains meet at center ice as we get teed up. Montreal's second home game, and a chance, though, at redemption after home opener spoiled at a sold-out Verdun Auditorium. Right away, both teams getting their sticks on the puck early, but loose and skims down deep into the New York zone. And a chance for Poulin. She'll just bat it. What a wily shot. She's fired up.
That's not the player you want to give that chance to.
And there, Eldridge tests Desbiens early on, going the other way. Both sort of tentative shots.
Tentative shots, but huge opportunities early on, point-blank opportunities. Again, Marie-Philippe Poulin in the slot. Not a player, she's got such a shot that you want to give those chances to.
She's still on the ice, but now the puck being worked along the far wall by Ella Shelton, of course, the league leader in points, the lone player with 6 points right now, and she got 3 assists in that game on the weekend, the most. And now a chance for Laura Stacey. She's got room, she shoots, and Levy turns it away.
Laura Stacey, we talked about her elite level speed, and that's New York getting caught on a change. They had 2 defensemen going to the back to the players' bench, and not the time you want to do that.
And now it's New York trying to battle for it in the Montreal zone. Stacey, she tries to tee it away, but Peyton Levis scoops it in, looks for Woods down there in the slot. She's also got some support from Chloe Orard. And now on the near side, Taylor Baker. She's got her stick in on it for New York. Again, a team that completed the comeback, but certainly would like to get on the board first. Nothing like chasing down that 2-0 lead from the opposing team.
Well, not a position you want to put yourself in too often where you're chasing games, and they haven't been in that position very much. With the 4-0 win against Toronto in their season opener, it was pretty impressive display of offense.
Kayla Vespa, far corner. Got help from Hobson on the point, and now right in front. That skims by Downey Landry. Some sustained time here in the Montreal zone, just to the outside. And again, having to work off the wall, and so it'll be Dempsey who will tee it up. She looks for Lafleur, and Montreal goes off for a quick change. New York putting on some speed now. Downey Landry backs it down deep. Desbiens plays it off her stick. Quick to the chases. Madison Packer for New York.
Montreal getting their 4th line on the ice right away. And we take a look at some of the chances that these teams have had so far, and it's Laura Stacey again. She can be such a threat, and you turn the puck over to her, and you know she's going to turn on the jet. She keeps her feet moving, drives in wide, and gets this shot off. Of course, that was a bad change on the part of New York. They're going to want to take care of that, make sure the puck is 200 feet down the ice.
Well, Norcross was teeing something up for Shelton, and now back behind the net, Montreal just looking to clear it. Talk about Stacey. She had 9 shots in that weekend game, the most of any in a single game. And here's a chance for Montreal, shoots, and that's wide. These players just trying to find their space on the ice. Katie Tabin as well along the blue line for Montreal.
Katie Tabin, who's been a solid defender for this team, and another one that came out of the PHF and was solid with the Toronto 6 in helping them to win the Isabel Cup last year. And this is just a nice little cut to the middle to get this shot off, and one of the areas that this Montreal team has been very good is finding the middle of the ice and creating offense. That step to the middle to give yourself the shot from the slot to create that scoring chance.
Poulin taking this offensive zone draw for Montreal. She's at 60.7% in the face-off circle. Taking arguably the bulk of the face-offs for Montreal.
And that was Abby Rock that stepped in with her. She's playing the wing, but she is such a good face-off player as well.
Now Teresa Vanisova, she's got 4 assists already on the season. No goals yet, but those 4 assists tied with Ella Shelton for the most in the league so far. And now another chance for Montreal. They're keeping it in play. Vanisova serves it down. Poulin right behind Levy. Far side. Montreal trying to get it in. They can't, so New York. All kinds of ice here at Place Bell. Kind of space on the ice, I should say. First time for both these teams playing in this venue. Montreal played at home Saturday at Verdun Auditorium. And now another chance for Laura Stacey. She shoots up high that time off the glass. There for the rebound right in front. That was Kristen O'Neill. Now New York takes it the other way. Levis pops it off the far wall. Montreal just got to get by Emma Woods. They do, but Baker keeps it in from the point. Leah Lum fights for it.
And Leah Lum, what a versatile player she is. We've already seen her play both forward and defense with this team.
We have a penalty being assessed, a tripping call. And so some power play action early on, and special teams will be big for both of these teams tonight.
Well, Montreal with so much offensive power, but their power play is only sitting at 8.3% right now. So something that I'm sure they're going to want to work out given the talent that they have. You can see that trip as they go into the boards. And so New York is going to go to the penalty box. But that team has so many power play specialists as well, with Aaron Ambrose, Poulin, Stacy. You know they're going to get this going at some point.
Yeah, Olivia Zafudo in the penalty box. Montreal with the second worst power play in the league. Meanwhile, New York's penalty kill. They are the second most penalized team after Montreal.
Of course, you look at the power plays in the league right now, and surprisingly enough, it's Minnesota that's sitting at the bottom with the offensive power they have.
Here comes Poulin. She's got support. She's got Stacy near. Shoots, and that pass just mistimed, but what a chance. Lagunière keeps it in. And Stacy can't protect it from the midpoint, and actually Aaron Ambrose rather gives chase down to Desbiens. And again, now an even bigger chance for Stacy potentially, but New York able to come in fast. After a change, nearly getting caught on it. Brooke Hobson. She rims it around. Ambrose again. Tees it up in front. Stacy's there, same with Poulin. They've had some chances already on this power play. The first of the game, first for Montreal. Ambrose locked in. Finds Poulin, shoots up high. So fast. Looked like Levy got a piece of it.
She's so dangerous from there. What a shot.
Poulin again, another chance on Levy. No, she'll tee it up back. Plenty of pressure from Joanna Fellman.
Well, Montreal able to get in and get set up, but probably their best chance of this power play so far has come off the rush. Poulin takes this puck all the way down the ice. You can see the speed through the neutral zone. She pulls this puck over to her backhand to find herself space, and then tries to hit Laura Stacy backdoor with that saucer pass. Looks like the puck just stays up in the air just a little too long. Stacy's not able to bat it down.
Well, Kristen O'Neill takes that face off again. Montreal on the power play. Big shot up high that time from Katie Tabin, and so New York will just return a sender, carries it, or rather saucers it down deep.
Ella Shelton's able to get that clear, and we'll see the second unit now in Montreal. And again, some players that have lots of power play experience in their respective teams that they have come from.
LaBelle trying to get her stick on it. It's a homecoming for Alexandra LaBelle from Quebec. There's 3 players on the New York roster from Quebec, so a big night for them as well.
Well, you start to see that with this league, these players that come from all over and international as well. The Toronto team, of course, with lots of Ontario players, but you get Ottawa that's very international, but definitely the French connection with this team. And you take a look at Chloe Erard, not French Canadian though. She plays for Team France, has an opportunity now to play over here. Played with Northeastern as well, so got some North American experience before her days at the PWHL.
And New York now still trying to find their way out of their own zone, and plenty of pressure from Montreal. We round out the homecoming Elizabeth Giguère and Jade Downey-Landry as well, all from Quebec. And with that, we're still scoreless at Place Bell, with plenty of chances for Montreal, including a power play. the PWHL is brought to you by Canadian Tire, Canada's store, and proud founding partner of the PWHL.
Well, you're watching 2 of the 3 stars of the week in tonight's game. Marie-Philippe Poulin, what a great week she had, of course, with the hat trick. Ella Shelton, she's been spectacular for her team since the drop of the puck against New York. These players are expected to bring a lot of offense here tonight. Definitely players to watch, and I like Ella Shelton. I mean, I'm a defenseman, Daniela, so I watch her and the offense she brings, but she's gritty. She plays well in her own zone as well.
And of course, both of those players named to the 3-on-3 All-Star Showcase teams. We'll get some more of that, but that big announcement in the PWHL yesterday.
Yeah, pretty exciting stuff. The NHL All-Star game comes to Toronto, and we get to see the women play as well.
Countdown is on, but right now, Montreal and New York, it's scoreless. Montreal's had a chance at a power play. Some good looks so far, testing Abigail Levy in net for New York. The same netminder they had less than a week ago in New York, when that game finished 5-2 in favor of Montreal.
Well, it starts to get interesting as you get into the season to see how these teams play their goaltenders and what the rotation is going to be. There's so many good goalies in this league.
And here's a chance for, that one just skims off the stick a little bit. Claire Dalton, who has a goal already on the season. Still plenty of players looking for their first goal. Montreal sends it back to the end boards. Montreal with 14 players who've recorded at least 1 point in the league so far. This is game number 5 for both teams, and some big physical play as the crowd reacting.
Of course, you talk about the players who have scored goals for this Montreal team, and Catherine Dubois is one of those. She's just slotted into the lineup of the last 3 games. This is her 3rd game. She got a goal in her 1st game.
Yeah, one of the the first reserve player in the league to be called up, and on a 10-day contract. But here comes Alex Carpenter. She's got all kinds of room, and Desbiens reads it right into the glove.
We'll take a look at the physical play in this league, and of course the fans love it. You can hear the fans right away. It looks a little bit WWF or WWE as it is now called, as Dubois comes down with a little bit of a body slam on Ella Shelton, and those 2 players battling for the puck. Of course, nobody wants to lose that battle along the boards. It's so crucial for teams getting pucks out of the zone or keeping it in.
Montreal clears that one after winning that defensive zone draw. Right away, Jamie Bourbonnais for New York was on it. Hobson as well. She carries it around. Prince Albert, Saskatchewan native. And one of the players that GM Pascal Daou says could be one of the steals of the draft. Feels very strongly about Brooke Hobson. Now Alex Carpenter again, and that's just offside.
You can see New York just trying to stretch the zone out and make that long pass, trying to get in behind Montreal's defensive passes just off the tape. It would have been a glorious opportunity for them had that happened. You see that stretch pass, and Renee Desbiens comes out of the net. She knows she's got to play that. It's going down for an icing, but New York is going to get there first.
Now Baker and Vespa trying to tee up a pass, bringing it closer to Desbiens, but Montreal already. Stacey to O'Neill, and back again. Stacey takes it far. Drop pass over to Bette. Both of them goal scorers for Montreal already. Stacey looks to feed it. Bette right there, right behind the net of Levy. Got her eye on it. And again, just teed back in. Madison Bizzle, rather. Montreal rims it around. Leah Lum has it from the point. Sets it back, and another chance right in front. Laura Stacey's right there, but puck stays far. Bizzle. She tried to get it back down, but New York, the turnovers keep turning. And Kristen O'Neill just serves it up and sends it back.
Well, she does a great job to back check on that puck through the neutral zone and send it right back down and really disrupt New York's breakout.
Fudo looking to clear this one out. Has to do it down deep. Jaguar, the nifty pass, but again, New York forced to bring it back into their own zone to create some space. Puck loose, and Debian will just play it off the stick easily.
I like that idea that she didn't freeze that puck. She kept it moving, gives her team an opportunity to get back down the ice.
Yeah, here was some momentum coming in fast, Gabrielle David. The battle just continues again in the New York zone. Plenty of pressure. They were heavily outshot by Minnesota in that first period on Sunday. Savannah Norcross doing what she can for New York, but puck gets scooped up by David. And some physical play by Ella Shelton closes off that momentum for Montreal. Sarah Lafour was in the mix too. Now Jillian Dempsey in Burgundy as Montreal. Tabin takes it away with a feed to Dubois, shot wide. To Bougeot. She was looking for the pass. New York able to keep control. Norcross will dump it down. And New York Woods will tee it up high and again easily. It's like it floats into the glove of Debian, but tension is mounting here in the first period. Still scoreless in Place Belle as Montreal looks for its first home win.
Coach Corey Chevry drawing up some plans for her team on the board on that timeout, giving them her expectations. Not sure if that's offensive or defensive, Daniela. Maybe it's her way to win this draw. Perhaps it's what she expects when they get down the ice. The expectation, I'm sure, is that Poulin wins this draw, but Abby Rock has been very good in the face-off circle so far this season. 63% coming into this game.
So very close percentage-wise, but it all comes down to what happens on the ice. And almost felt like there was no clear winner, but New York with a chance. Alex Carpenter just sneaks in that shot, turned away.
That's a quick release shot too.
Yeah, but turned away just as quickly by Debian. So now Tabin takes her time. She's got some space and into the glove of Levy this time. Back and forth we go. Shots on goal. Becky even at this time.
Well, and it feels like an even game. Both teams have had their offensive opportunities, and it's Alex Carpenter once again for New York that gets a chance. Levy with a nice easy save into the glove. Love the patience of Tabin coming through the neutral zone to find that pass for Montreal's to get their entry and their shot on goal.
New York defending. Bourbonnais. Some quick passes up to Rock. She goes cross ice. That one nearly turned over by Poulin. Now Poulin has it again. And she's got some space. Murphy with a shot. That one up high, deflected. Crowd on the edge of their seat here at Place Belle. They're waiting for these moments, and now another chance for Montreal, but it's offside and whistled. The momentum was building, Becky.
Well, it was, and Teresa Venesova was just not quite to the blue line when Kristen O'Neill got that chance. And he had a player with a lot of speed, and I like that line together, Laura Stacey, Kristen O'Neill, and Bette, because they bring so much speed, and you can see that's that quick strike attack. When they get the puck, they'll turn it back and go north really fast.
So O'Neill will take the neutral zone draw for Montreal just outside New York zone. And it's New York that will keep it away, at least for now. Chips it down. Levis giving chase is Chloe Orard. But working it now is Woods. Orard, she tees it up.
It's a nice give and go behind the net.
Desbiens makes that save off the pad. Rebound collected to the far wall. New York unable to get some passes in between. Feldman, and there's a big shot by Levis. Just goes right off the wall towards the net. Montreal with some speed. And Sophie Bette, she gets stopped in her tracks. But again, Montreal able to shovel the puck back down deep into the New York zone.
New York's second line with a really good shift in the offensive zone. Woods, Orard, and Levis, and look for them to be an offensive threat. We talk so much about their top players.
And now right in front, Giguère, she looks defeated through. He had Jade Downey-Landry, but that was a close call for Montreal, and here they come the other way. Downey-Landry stops that, and they'll have a redo. Giguère shoots. Desbiens makes the save.
Wow, that's a good idea by Desbiens to hold on to that puck and let her team reset. Bit of an unfortunate giveaway for Montreal, one that's uncharacteristic, just looking to make that centering breakout pass right in front. Unfortunately, Giguère cannot quite corral that puck. She had a glorious opportunity. Puck just bounces off her stick. She was all alone out in front.
New York gets the draw, gets the shot off right away. That's several times they've done that now already in the first period, or at least try to, and back down they go. There'll be icing call on that one.
Well, I think that's one of the things that makes this New York line so dangerous is how good they've been again in the face-off circle. And Abby Rock and Alex Carpenter are really sharing the duties. You see one's a right-handed shooter, one's a left-handed shooter. So they alternate what circle they take it in. They're going to take it on their strong side. So you're going to see Alex Carpenter come into the circle now and take this draw. Abby Rock takes it on the other side.
Taking the majority of these when given the chance, and of course coming up against Poulin. They'll both stay in the circle.
Both these two at about 60% coming into this game.
And there'll be a change up. No, not quite. We'll try again. Third time's a charm. And this time the puck loose in the Montreal zone. And Nisova tried to clear it off the body of Taven that time. And back up. Teresa Vanisova. Montreal settles it back. Catherine Dahu out there alongside her defensive partner. And Montreal seemingly trying to get together, and it'll be an icing call.
Well, just trying to find some sticks right now and get a clean breakout. Unfortunately, for New York, they're not able to, so Montreal is going to get the offensive zone start. You'll see Kristen O'Neill's line come out to take that. Not surprising that it would either be Poulin's line or O'Neill's line for this offensive zone face-off.
Well, in their weekend games, Montreal was out shooting their opponent in the first period 11-6. Meanwhile, New York was being outshot 11-6. So both teams evening things out here in this first game of the week after those overtime thrillers.
Of course, until you get some separation on the scoreboard, none of that really matters. And you know, you look at both these teams with the goaltending, especially with Anne-Renee Desbiens, and you can give up a lot of opportunities.
We talked about the Road Warriors in New York, currently on a 4-game road trip. So this is game 2. Saturday they're going to be in Boston. And then January 26th, the opening day rematch at Toronto.
Might be a good thing for New York. Road teams seem to have had the edge so far this season with all the PWHL teams.
Yeah, big edge. In fact, the fact that Minnesota is the only team to win at home, and that's why road teams have won 8 of the first 10 games. But Montreal, they're doing what they can. They want that redemption, especially from their home opener. Aaron Ambrose calling this a second chance at a home opener because it's at a new venue, and Savannah Norcross is going to do the work herself from New York. She's going to take the shot. She does. It's wide. She's got support from Packer, far side, and they'll send it around. Shelton now on the ice. She knows how to score. That physical play will be allowed. It'll carry on in New York. Try again, Norcross sends it far side. Montreal from the neutral zone this time. Will bounce it back behind Levy. And the speed of Dubois coming in. Dalton out there on the ice as well. As Bugeaud gets jostled around, and Katie Taven taking some physical play from Norcross. Baker with a little bit of patience to Zafudo. Zafudo shoots it down. Not looking for the shot on net, but rather a chance for the line change. And O'Rourke just gets pinballed between some players.
Catherine Dubois with a good shift, and she's been very visible. Again, a player that is a reserve player, has gotten herself into the lineup for the last few games, but you see her do all sorts of really good things out there.
Chloe O'Rourke chasing down Catherine Daou back behind the net, and New York hungry. Emma Woods as well in the mix. Of course, she's the one who scored that overtime game winner. But here's Montreal again. David was looking for the pass. Dempsey has it now in front. They score! Gabrielle David with her first PWHL goal, and the first for Montreal in this game.
Well, David does a great job on that shift, not only to pursue the puck, but then to get open in front of the net for Dempsey. You see her come down the ice with a head of steam, gets to this puck first, throws the pass, tries to throw the pass out front, goes behind the net, but she comes right back out front and gets herself into that open area. That's a good heads-up play. She doesn't wait around. She knows where she has to go after Dempsey gets this puck behind the net, and she gets there quickly. No New York jersey is able to get out and cover her in the slot.
What a moment for number 8. And that's her second point of the season. She got a first assist on Kennedy Marchman's game winner against New York. Gotta feel good. That was just 6 days ago, not even a week ago. And now Montreal taking up a second chance right here from the point. Big shot! It's in! Leah Lum puts away goal number 2 for Montreal.
Well, we talked about Leah Lum and how special a player she's been for this team in her ability to play both offense and defense. She's so patient with the puck when she gets it in all areas of the ice. But you see this on the blue line as well. And what a shift Montreal puts together, getting in on the forecheck, creating separation, winning that battle, and then touching it back to the point. Vanasova gets right back to the front of the net to make sure it's hard for Livy to see this puck as it comes through.
Well, that's how you get things loud at Place Bell. Leah Lum's first goal, first point of her PWHL career, and it's felt a little bit like a moment in waiting because she's had so many chances, and a smile says it all.
Well, and I think for all of these players, I mean, you get your national team players, they're used to playing in front of this, but some of your players coming from NCAA, PHF, they haven't seen a crowd like this. So when you put a puck in the net and you get that cheer, what a feeling.
What a feeling for the home team again, coming out strong here. Not where New York wants to be. They know the feeling of being down 2-0. They were in Sunday's game, but they mounted that comeback. And in front of the net, Levy tested again. That one a good save. So close contact. Teresa Vanisova right at the doorstop. And again, New York now, they try to tee things up. Wrong. Big shot by Baker. Wide. Off the far corner, Shelton keeps it in play.
Montreal right now stringing together some really good shifts. New York just looking for a response.
And now Montreal against Stacy. She's going to take it a little too down low in front of the goal, and New York will just clear that one out, Becky.
A smart decision, and Montreal really getting themselves open in front and getting those opportunities, but I love the fact that they're able to string multiple shifts together like that. Of course, again, New York looking for that response. That's 2 quick goals and a third point-blank scoring chance.
Laura Stacey tries to send it down the slot, but New York now will carry it away. She's got some room. She's doing the work. O'Rard on her knee. But Montreal bowls it over, and Bete will play it that way to head off to the bench.
Chloe O'Rard, what a great one-on-one move. And there's your tutorial for a defenseman on take the body. She pulled that puck in. What a toe drag that was.
What a save by Desbiens, just to put a little extra spice on it for Montreal. And Montreal felt like it was waiting for the right moment, and so David opens scoring. Lum adds to it. They have a 2-0 lead. Canadian Tire is a proud founding partner of the PWHL. Canadian Tire, Canada's store, here to make life in Canada better.
Oh, Montreal with a quick strike attack. One of the things they can do so well, you give them an opportunity, they find the back of the net. That's goal number 1, David. What a nice shot. She gets down low. And then goal number 2, they come right back down the ice. Leah Lum with her first of the season. Point shot through traffic. That one finds its way in.
David helped by Dempsey for her second assist, and Lafleur as well for her second assist on the season, while Lum supported by Murphy
and Vanisova.
Yeah, I was just soaking it in, the fact that Vanisova is now the leading in assists in the league. 5 on the season. 1 more than Ella Shelton, so maybe number 17 for New York wants that back. We'll see. Vanisova now with 5 points on the season. And this is just the 5th game for both of these teams. Daniela Ponticelli alongside Becky Keller for Montreal's second home game. And now Montreal teeing it up. Another shot in front. That one off the shoulder. Looked like it would almost bounce behind the back of Abigail Levy, but makes the save. New York trying to clear out that rebound. Montreal digging in. They want to add to it. We're in the final seconds of the first period at Place Bell.
Well, I think if you're in New York, you want out of this period and you want to reset. Right now, they've been giving up far too many scoring opportunities inside, and Montreal generates another one, and this really all starts from the stick of Laura Stacey. You look at her get in on this forecheck, and she beats 3 white jerseys to get this puck loose. And then Kristen O'Neill feeds us in front. Looks like this is going to pop up and over. A little more dangerous than it wound up being. Another great scoring chance for Montreal.
Montreal defending. They'll just send it down. Final seconds of the first period. Back in the New York zone, and the shots have been relatively even, or were, until Montreal just started putting on the pressure.
Of course, sometimes the shot count is deceptive in terms of where the shots come from. Montreal's really found their way inside.
And so New York try to carry it over the blue line. They get it there as the horn sounds, and not where New York wants to be. They were down 2-0 in their game against Minnesota. Of course, completed the comeback and won it in overtime. But Montreal, after getting spoiled, their home opener spoiled in overtime, don't want to repeat that.
Yeah, definitely where Montreal wants to be, but I think what you just said about New York is exactly what their leaders and their coaches are probably going to say in the dressing room, which is, we've been here before. It was just the other night, down by 2 goals, and we completed that comeback. We can do this, but some things have to change in their game, and right now they got to be tighter defensively.
Montreal out shooting New York 12-9 in the first period. Up next, we will hear from Ella Shelton of New York and also have a look back at Montreal's home opener. Checking in now with PWHL points leader and the leader for New York, Ella Shelton. Ella, your team has been in this position before recently and were able to mount that comeback. What is your mindset at when you're approaching this chat with your team in the locker room?
Yeah, I think for us it's just getting back to what makes us successful as a team, and I think that's focusing on our 3Fs, you know, being fast and physical, and I think that'll allow us to have some more flow to this game.
Well, your first matchup against Montreal was just 6 days ago. It was a 5-2 loss for New York, but what were you able to learn in that game that you're hoping to bring into this one?
Yeah, I think they have some pretty speedy players out there. I mean, they have some pretty quick forwards that test this defense, and I think for us it's just rechecking our shoulders and being good supports down low and bringing the puck out clean, and we'll find ourselves some more offensive time zone.
Well, thank you so much, Ella.
Thank you so much, guys.
Well, Ella Shelton will soon be playing with some of her Montreal opponents, including captain Marie-Philippe Poulin, in the 3-on-3 PWHL showcase at NHL All-Star Weekend. It's Thursday, February 1st. And Becky, the teams have been announced. It is stacked, of course, with talent, mostly from the free agents who were signed, but also the first-round draft picks.
Well, this is a pretty star-studded affair. These are some pretty amazing players, a lot of speed, a lot of skill. But I got to tell you, Daniela, when I look at these rosters, I think I might be going for Team King here. I think when you have Marie-Philippe Poulin on the same team as Hillary Knight, how can they not win?
But how can you count out Alex Carpenter and Taylor Heisey on Team Kloss? I mean, come on. So 2 teams of 12 players will compete. This is the PWHL New York's contributions. Of course, Ella Shelton, as we mentioned, Alex Carpenter, Abby Rock. And for Montreal, Captain Marie-Philippe Poulin and Renee Debiami, who wouldn't want her in net, and Aaron Ambrose as well. So 2 teams of 12 competing, and they are going to be coached, one by Cassie Campbell-Pascal and the other by Megan Duggan. So just a star-studded event, Becky.
Oh, definitely, and a couple legends in the game stepping on to the bench to coach. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
And Ella Shelton, again, we've talked about her a lot. She had 4 assists, 3 assists in 1 game on Sunday, and that right now is a PWHL record. Of course, we can't hype Teresa Vanasova enough, who for Montreal just scored her 5th assist on the season. So plenty of stars in the mix, and Ella Shelton as well, much beloved for her big moment, scoring the PWHL first goal. And actually in London, Ontario, getting lots of love there.
And Marie-Philippe Poulin again, Captain Clutch. She's such an important player, not only to this team, but really to the league as a whole. And she's got the star quality, the player you want to watch. Laura Stacey and Renee Debian, of course, Aaron Ambrose. These are all players that are going to have such an impact on this team and have with Team Canada for a number of years.
Now, we talked about tonight being a second chance at a home opener. Of course, the first game at Place Bell for PWHL Montreal, but Saturday sold out at Verdun Auditorium. Have a look.
It was pretty emotional. I think that it's something that I never would have dreamed of, and of course, you know, from what I experienced, Montreal does everything the right way.
Celle-là était très spéciale, je m'en dirais pas. Je pense que ça fait longtemps qu'on attend ce moment-là, le premier match à la maison. Je savais que notre équipe ici, dans l'organisation, il allait faire ça spécial, mais c'était très spécial. Oui, on voulait quelque chose de gros, mais je pense que depuis le 1er janvier, depuis que c'est parti, de voir les gens comment en parlent, tu vois, les gens sont excités. Ça, c'est ça qui est le fun. Tu sais, ça fait des années qu'on attend ce moment-là.
C'est magnifique. Je pense que c'est un moment spécial. C'est un moment I'm not going to forget for sure.
Well, Montreal doing what they can with this second chance at a home opener, leading 2-0 over New York, and it's the first intermission. position number 1. And really, Becky, the rink could be a dance floor if we allowed people out of there right now. Montreal, of course, leading 2-0, brings the good vibes here in what they're calling their second home opener. First time playing here, but Erin Ambrose, she was their 6th overall pick in the draft, and she's really stepping up as that leader that they've been looking for.
Well, she's expected to be an impact player, and she has been an impact player for this team. She's someone you're going to see in every big situation. Power play, penalty, kill, but I'm going to go to the power play because she is a power play specialist. She's a person that quarterbacks power play with Team Canada as well, so there's a lot of expectation on her, and she's living up to it.
Well, and Becky, you had a chance to catch up with Erin Ambrose before tonight's game, just to ask her about that home opener on Saturday.
All right, I'm here with Erin Ambrose, defenseman for Montreal. Erin, it has been a whirlwind for you guys, playing in Ottawa, the biggest crowd ever, then to Minnesota, the biggest crowd ever. But then you come home, finally, to your home crowd. You score a goal in that game. Can you just walk us through the emotions of that moment?
That specific moment, a lot of emotions. My family was in the crowd, which was pretty special to have them here for the home opener. And I think if you look back to kind of our introductions, gave me shivers. It was nothing short of unbelievable, beyond all of our wildest expectations. And I think you kind of said it best. It's been a whirlwind for a start of the season, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
It's been pretty amazing. The overtime appeared to be the dream moment. You guys score right away. It's disallowed. They come back. And so this is your second opportunity at a home opener. What do you guys have to do to be successful here today?
I think we got to take a lot of the things that we did do well against Boston and kind of take that into today, and also what we did well against New York last week when we played them at their home opener at UBS technically. So again, it's kind of cool to be in a different facility now, have another semi-home opener, and just be ready to kind of give the crowd a good show. Make sure we're coming out fast and aggressive, and definitely playing physical.
So growing up, you've had some exposure to some hockey icons, one of which is a coach in the Toronto area, Ken Dufton. And I wonder if you can talk a little bit about how instrumental he was in getting you, one, to Team Canada, but then also to where you are now.
Kenny Dufton. There aren't enough words to say what that man has done for my hockey career. I think just what he did, not only on the ice for me, but also allowing me to grow up into a young woman and send me off to university in the best place that I could be, and being ready, getting myself prepared. And I think Ken has done so much of that for so many different female hockey players, and the guy just continues to give to female hockey over and over again. There's not a lot that are better than him in the game of women's hockey. So I know myself, and along with Laura Stacey as well, who is on this team, we know how much Kenny means to us and to the rest of the group of women's hockey players.
One other icon that you've spent a little bit of time with is Vicky Sanahara at the University of Toronto, and you were coaching there, and I think sometimes, you learn a different side of the game coaching and then being with someone like that, and I wonder if you can speak a little bit about her and coaching in that program.
Oh, Vic show. Vic is the best, one of the best to ever do it. I always think about 2002 and looking up to Jana Hefford, Vicky Sanahara. And to be able to call her a friend now is pretty special. I think it's pretty public how much I've enjoyed coaching. And not only that, but I've gotten to coach under Vicky Sanahara, Julie Chu, and Carolyn Ouellette. So those are three legendary names in the game, and to be able to call them all friends, I've learned so much about the way they coach, the way they see the game, and I think it's honestly made me a better hockey player. So I'm very appreciative to every one of them for what they've done for me as a coach, but also as a hockey player.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for your time, and good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, when we return, Ambrose and Montreal will look to add to their 2-0 lead over New York as we get set for the second period. The official online shop of the PWHL is now open, so you can gear up for game day with jerseys and apparel for your favorite team. Visit shop.thepwhl.com to complete your game day fit. Everyone looking real good here at Place Bell tonight. And first period stats, we'll have a quick look back. They're brought to you by Sport Check.
Gabrielle David opens the scoring for Montreal. Jillian Dempsey, Sarah Lafleur are able to get the assists, and then Montreal comes right back down the ice. Leah Lum with her first goal of the season, Maureen Murphy and Teresa Venesova with the assists. And this is just some good hard work by Montreal to create not one, but two of these goals. They get in on the forecheck. David is able to get herself open out front and corral that puck, put it back of the net for the first goal for Montreal. Open the score, and they come right back down the ice. This is just some nice passing, good work down low again. Leah Lum is able to find a spot through all of that traffic, and there's a lot of it for Montreal's second goal of the first period.
And both first goals for David and Lum. Multiple assists for the others credited in getting set here for the second period. New York visiting Montreal for the first time. This is Montreal's first game, though, at Place Bell. And Renee Desbiens in net for the team in Burgundy, but we're headed the other way. Teresa Venesova taking it wide, getting that pressure from Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais will free the puck. Rock tries to clear it, and Montreal nearly takes it away. Rock this time. She'll carry it out. Looks for Carpenter. Carpenter plays keep away with Murphy, and New York trying to set up their system. Maureen Murphy already with an assist tonight.
That's a smart decision, just to dump that puck in. She recognizes that her line mates have gone to the bench, so she wants to give them an opportunity to change.
And O'Neill, she's got some room. She looks for a shot. That one didn't quite get to Levy. Abigail Levy in net for New York. Just her second start of the season. First one was against Montreal in New York less than a week ago. Katie Tabin takes it away now for Montreal. She's coming up fast, near side, shoots. Kicked away, and again, Bete, that one. Not quite hard enough, and Chloe O'Rard will chase it down for New York. O'Rard with room. She tries to get a shot off. That one's blocked easily by Catherine Daou. New York again, trying to send it back quick. They spent a lot of time, it felt, Becky, in their own zone, deep in their own zone in that first period.
Well, yeah, absolutely. They did, and I think, but for both these teams, you go to the room and the first period's over, and it's all about resetting now, coming back and seeing what you can accomplish in the second. If you're in New York again, you're putting that period behind you.
Yeah, 2-0 deficit. They faced it Sunday in Minnesota, a team that hadn't lost at home, hadn't lost at all actually on the season, and it was New York that delivered that first loss to Minnesota, and the chase is on down deep in Montreal.
Well, that one's just able to make its way down the ice to get that icing call, and Abby Rock, who maybe got away with one, or at least according to this crowd, and she chips that puck by and then just hauls down Daou. Of course, the crowd here in Montreal, who is quite hockey savvy, as you know, and extremely passionate, and they're enthusiastically booing the lack of call, but Abby Rock gets away with that one. We'll stay 5-on-5.
In the New York zone, though, it'll be New York that chases it down. Peyton Levis. And the puck just goes sailing all the way back. Back and forth we go. Jamie Bourbonnais having to turn around below the goal line. Robson clears it. It'll be whistled again for an icing.
Both these teams trying to get something going here in the second, and New York coming out of their zone, looking for quick close support. They don't have it, so they try to make that long stretch pass. That's just off the tape, but finding a way to open up the zone and try to get these exits out of the zone, and then some entries with a little bit of possession. Both teams having a bit of a struggle right now early in the second period with that.
Jade Downing-Landry takes the draw for New York and wins it, so New York now coming in. Giguère shoots. Again, body block, that one by Erin Ambrose. She's known for that. just a little bit, hey?
Well, that's a great defensive play. And you know what? There's one thing to be skilled, but that's just a hard work thing, a grit thing. And that's tough as a coach. You can't teach that. And someone like Erin Ambrose and a lot of these women, extremely competitive, willing to throw your body in front of that puck. That's what it takes for your team to be successful.
Now, the block shots in the PWHL, very impressive and honestly mounting in numbers as well. But
well, and you're trying to make it difficult for a team coming into the zone. This is a really nice entry and then just a cut back to the forehand, but Ambrose gets down, gets her body in front of that puck to deny that opportunity. And you cut back into the middle like that. That's a good position to shoot from.
so Hobson now plays it back and around and looks to get it to Norcross. Montreal takes over in the neutral zone. Daoud looking for that clear lane on the near side, but Norcross again in the mix. Downey Landry can't get by Catherine Dubois. Again, just her third game for Montreal, being called up as a reserve player. Down Downey Landry in the feet, but Madison Packer with some control in the Montreal zone. Kristen O'Neill with speed for Montreal. She's got room, looks for the shot. It gets deflected. Dubois right there. And O'Neill back on the chase for Montreal. Stacy keeps it in the offensive zone, drives the action. Levy with a big stop. Norcross now looks to clear it. That pass ends up on Stacy's stick and O'Neill as well. Now Lagunier, she thought she had the puck and it's just loose, trailing behind her. Good pressure by Montreal here in the second period. Kristen O'Neill carries it over the blue line. Uses the Edwards in front. And that one just wide. Levy spreading out for that one. Lagunier can't keep it on side. New York getting into the near wall. The crowd not liking what they're seeing, but the battle is on. The officials watching closely. And New York comes away with it.
Montreal's been really pouring on the pressure the last couple of shifts. Again, really good scoring chances, getting themselves into the middle of the ice.
Bourbonnais looking to set it up. Got Hobson near side this time. And in the slot is Jesse Eldridge for New York. Abby Rock rocking it.
Well, Abby Rock can do it all, and she's a skilled player, but she's a big player as well. And when she throws her body, you're going to feel it. She plays a physical game.
And that is the PWHL's game too. Physical and skilled. And Rock with the shot. Bodies block it. Can hardly get off. Now in front of the net of Desbiens. Montreal clears it out easily. Jamie Bourbonnais serves it back the other way. Alex Carpenter with the feed to Eldridge. Eldridge looking to get by Lagunier. Shoots, and that one picked up by Rock. Dropped back to Eldridge, and Zafudo can't keep it on the blue line, but
And New York just trying to find a way to get a little bit of sustained pressure.
Zafudo with a wide pass this time. And offside, and they'll reset. Both teams trying to get going here in the second, but Montreal still with a 2-0 lead, what they had in the first at Place Bell. The PWHL is brought to you by Bread Financial, official inaugural partner of the PWHL.
Laura Stacey with a couple of really good scoring opportunities on her last shift, and she's really making things happen out there. She seals off the boards to be able to turn this puck over and then turns on the Jets, keeps her feet moving, cuts to the middle to get that scoring chance, and then she gets this one point blank out front. And this has been the story of Montreal's game, getting themselves into that slot area and getting their sticks open. And that chance really started off the stick of O'Neill when she rimmed the puck, changed the point of attack, and gave them that chance.
Joining this second period, and seems like those tensions starting to bubble over. Abby Rock, she's known for her chirping, Becky. That's all I've been told.
Well, this is just it. And she's trying to bring her team into the fight right now. She's trying to get something going. And so Abby Rock and Marie-Philippe Poulin go at it off of the face-off. You can see them talking. Abby Rock loves to talk. Poulin looks like she's giving it back a little bit. And then they line up for this face-off. You can see that tensions are flaring. Rock takes Poulin down and then goes at her. And again, that's just the emotion she brings to this game and try to bring her team into the fight. And that's what she does so well. Of course, the two of them off the ice. I don't know whose advantage that is. Sometimes you get into those situations. If you can take a Marie-Philippe Poulin off the ice with you, then hey, you've won. But Abby Rock's a big loss for this New York team.
And so there'll be 4-on-4 neutral zone draw just outside Montreal's zone. And just as quickly, Kristen O'Neill with the speed chasing down Ella Shelton. Gets with the puck first, but still in the New York zone now. Jamie Bourbonnais. Again, New York just looking to get on the board. They were down 2-0 on the weekend and made the comeback, but haven't had a chance yet to score. They are special teams masters in that sense. Both of their goals, first goals in regulation, were on the power play. And this is kind of a power play. It's 4-on-4. A little bit more space. Alex Carpenter chases it down. Eldridge tees it up. Desbiens with a big save. Sends it away. Still in the Montreal zone, though. Bourbonnais collecting it.
This is a dangerous group for New York. You've got two defensemen, or had two defensemen on the ice, in Ella Shelton and Bourbonnais, that bring a lot of offense. Of course, Alex Carpenter as well as Eldridge.
And Hobson just doing it all herself, bringing the puck down below the goal line. Eldridge can't keep it on her stick. And this is where Vanasova gets a chance. Vanasova shoots, and that's just wide. Bowls over Abigail Levy. And there's a penalty on the way for that action.
Vanasova keeps her feet moving as she comes into the zone, but then she doesn't stop herself and goes right into Levy. She's going to sit down for 2 minutes or less for that infraction. Of course, she gives a little tap to Levy. I don't think she meant to do it. However, the action is the action, and this is a huge opportunity for New York.
Yeah, Taylor Baker seemed to cut right in between those two, and now is a big chance for New York. As I mentioned, it's Sunday's game against Minnesota, down 2-0 in the second. It was a power play goal that got them going.
On a 4-on-3 power play is a distinctly different beast than a 5-on-4 power play. There's so much more space. It really is a much more dangerous advantage. Again, you're going to see Shelton out on the ice, Carpenter out on the ice. You got Woods, of course, your big goal scorer last game for this team, so some dangerous players.
So 4-on-3 advantage to New York at this time. 2 for 2 on road power plays. Shelton in the high slot. It's it back to Bourbonnais. Shelton again. She's got to get by Ambrose though. And now Bourbonnais. What a big stop by Desbiens. Just calm, cool, collected into the body.
Especially with the screen that she has out front, and Alex Carpenter goes to the net, but look at this puck movement. They're just patiently waiting. Alex Carpenter just continues to move. You watch her in front of Desbiens, just trying to get into her face, and you can see when Desbiens has to move her head like that, that Carpenter's doing a good job out front. You want to make things hard on that goalie.
Shelton has the puck again, back to Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais teeing it up near side. Shelton from the high slot, Carpenter out as well. Shield coming close, shoot. Bodies in front, and that one gets cleared out.
Well, I like the switch there. I like Emma Woods in front of the net. A little bit more than Alex Carpenter. You got a shot like that, you want to take advantage of it.
Final seconds of this 4-on-3 for New York. Shelton, big shot by Bourbonnais, she scores! gets on the board a massive goal in Montreal.
And that was some really nice puck movement to open up Bourbonnais at the top. And then she gets that one-timer off. And you see that cross-seam pass. And then that little hesitation like Shelton's going to the net. She opens up Bourbonnais at the top. And then Bourbonnais releases this shot. It's that hesitation up to the top. And then Bourbonnais is able to fire that missile and beat Desbiens.
Her first PWHL goal. So all 3 goals in this game, Becky. First for the players.
Of course, we're going to see a lot of that. It's still fairly young in the season. Young but not young in a 24-game season.
Lots on the line. A regulation win, 3 points. A win in overtime, 2. A loss in overtime, 1.
Well, and that's a big thing, too. You want to win these games in regulation if you can't get the 3 points.
So Hobson tries to fly down the near side, loses momentum as Murphy gets her stick on it.
Tell you one thing, when you're at a game in Montreal, you certainly know where the crowd stands.
Oh, absolutely.
They are vocal.
Shots on goal, just slightly favoring Montreal this time, 14-13. And a power play marker at that for Jamie Bourbonnais. She was helped by Ella Shelton and Alex Carpenter on that power play unit. There's Bourbonnais again.
Well, Bourbonnais just shot that puck. It just went in through the open door. And so now if you're Montreal, you need to reset. You've allowed New York back into this game on that power play opportunity. So if you're Montreal, again, it's about getting back to your game, getting back to your rhythm, getting the puck down the ice and starting to establish what you had done so well in the first period.
And Jamie Bourbonnais, by the way, no stranger to Montreal. During her time with the PWHPA, played in Montreal 2 seasons, and then with Team Scotiabank as well. Olivia Zafudo carrying the puck, dumping it down. Downey Landry chasing it. In deep, rather Emma Woods. Emma Woods gets her stick on it. Taylor Baker sends it back. Abby Rock looking for that feed, possibly to O'Rard. And now's a big shot from the point. Hobson Desbiens will cover it up and end up folded around Chloe O'Rard.
Well, Desbiens comes out aggressively to make sure she can get a glove on that puck. O'Rard is right there on the doorstep doing a good job driving the net. But really, all of this starts with Abby Rock in the corner, and she's so strong down low. She wins this battle and gets it up top to the point. That's a nice tip as well to make things difficult for Desbiens. She's able to make the save.
Alex Carpenter just recorded an assist on that goal by Jamie Bourbonnais, her 3rd of the season. Takes that draw. And by the way, Ella Shelton now tied with Vanisova in this game for those assists in the lead, both at 5 apiece.
Seem to be battling it back and forth. Of course, Shelton's a defenseman, though, so, you know, sometimes it's a little bit more impressive from the back end when you're able to rack up the points like that.
Well, 6 of these players on the ice tonight, 6 of them are in the league's top 10 scorers. So it just goes to show the skill and talent on both of these teams. New York able to get on the board here in the second. Montreal's first 2 goals in the first period. First time playing at Place Bell. And on the near side rather. Puck goes loose back below the goal line. And Norcross, she'll find some room. Far side this time, big wide circle. She's got Packer in front. Montreal takes it away. Kristen O'Neill this time. She dishes it to Bette. Bette rims it around. New York will take it now. LaBelle. Catherine Dubois collects it. They'll just go back and forth here.
Well, it's just that rim breakout when you're under pressure. Rim that puck, get your winger to the boards and let them chip it out, battle it out, and then see if you can create anything off the loose puck or the chip puck in the neutral zone.
Erin Ambrose looking for a feed to Dalton, but Zafudo in the mix, but here comes Montreal. Big shot by Poulin, batted away by Levy. Poulin always there to collect those rebounds, her own at that.
Well, she had Peugeot driving the net, so it looked like maybe she was just trying to throw that puck on net to create something.
Downey Landry. Indeed, Peugeot out on the ice as well. The battle for it on the near wall. Aaron Ambrose in the mix. New York with a shot. That one stopped midway by Peugeot. Still waiting for it. Mariah Keppel for Montreal feeds it to Vanisova. And it's Brooke Hobson, or rather Emerald Woods, able to stop the shot before it even gets near Abigail Levy. Puck loose again in the Montreal zone. It'll be an icing.
I want to take a look at some of the points leaders in this game, and Vanisova is one. We've talked about her and the assists that she's put up. Of course, Ella Shelton, the two of them battling to get assist supremacy in this league. And Teresa Vanisova with, of course, 5 assists. Ella Shelton, Maureen Murphy. So a lot of players that you're seeing here in this game today. Chloe Aurard as well, who plays for the French team, the World Championship. So a bit different for her to be playing with some of these players. Again, she played at Northeastern, but opportunity to play in North America with some of the best.
Maureen Murphy getting her 4th assist in this game. And it'll be Montreal. They look to be carrying it out. Murphy at that. Poulin with some room. She feeds it to Vanisova. That one skims by. Just wide. Montreal still in control. Bizzle looks to feed it to the captain. Far side. She'll rim it around off to the bench. And Bizzle getting caught up on this New York line, and Abby Rock chases it down. Leah Lum instead, and
well, some physical play, and O'Rourke looks like she's a little shaken up from that hit. Coming down the wall, and then Vanisova just steps into O'Rourke, takes her out of the play. A little shoulder on shoulder to take her out. Creates a good turnover for Montreal. They're able to go back down and create a scoring chance off of that.
Well, these teams have already played each other once before, and it was less than a week ago. It was a 5-2 win for Montreal. New York has called it their revenge tour, this 4 road game stretch, and there's some more physical play as Peyton Levis gets frustrated. Starts to bat at the feet, but plays on Stacy with a feed to O'Neill. Shelton pokes it free, a shot. Plenty of traffic in front. Abigail Levy able to read it along the near wall. Digging it out, Alex Carpenter. She's got speed and some support. She gets by Daou.
What an inside-out move.
And Ella Shelton collects it in the New York zone. Sends it down deep, and it'll be an icing call.
New York's arguing that one. They thought maybe they were going to leg that out and negate that icing, but it's going to go back down the ice nonetheless. And we see another big hit on Daou, and look at her come over. That's a beauty hip check. And I'll tell you one thing, you watch even NHL hockey, that's a bit of a lost art. She threw that hip check beautifully.
New York getting on the board here in the second period, looking for that equalizer. As the teams head to the benches. And we'll be right back. Montreal still with the lead at Belle Place 2-1 in the second period. Well, during the media break, Team New York gets their own sticks back, Becky.
They were delayed in getting here somehow on the flight and the transportation, so they started this game using other sticks. We don't know whose sticks quite yet, but their own sticks have just arrived, so you see a bit of a mad scramble on the bench. Everyone's getting their stick back, checking it out, going,
Feels good.
That's
Feels good.
That's my flex. That's what I like.
And the face-off at center ice after some questions about that icing call on New York, and so all things equal, back at it here. Final 6 minutes of the second period, a period where New York able to score on the power play. First goal by Jamie Bourbonnais. And there's an icing.
And that one will go down for an icing. And Montreal hasn't been able to generate a lot for a while, so this will give them that offensive zone start that maybe they've been looking for and get Marie-Philippe Poulin out onto the ice for this. Of course, you got a group from New York that is stuck out on the ice. They're not able to make that change, so could be a bit of an advantage for Montreal here.
Ambrose takes the draw. Poulin just tries to release that shot. It gets absolutely muffled by New York.
Well, if you're on the ice with Poulin, you got to know that she's dangerous from the tops of the circles, and she can shoot from further distance than a lot of players and be dangerous from that distance.
Fudo with a nice feed to Baker, but Vanisova battling for it. Tries with the wrap right in front. It's Maureen Murphy. That could have been another chance. Peugeot was right there, big. Keppel, and there's a shot. That one.
That's a nice backdoor pass by Keppel.
Maureen Murphy also teed up down low. Keppel again. Shoots towards Levy, that time into the glove.
Well, that one's an easy save for Livy to make and give her team a chance to get this change.
We'll take another break. Still 2-1 lead for Montreal here at Place Bell.
Another scoring chance for Montreal inside that home plate area. Maureen Murphy this time is wide open. It's Vanisova down below the goal line that does some good work to create that separation, get the puck out front, and Murphy is wide open and all on her own, and that has happened a lot tonight for Montreal. It's got to be a topic of conversation for New York when they go back to the dressing room again, is taking care of that house.
And Kristen O'Neill gets her stick on the puck in the face-off circle, but not a clean win for Montreal. Tried to maintain possession. Joanna Fellman helping New York get out. Now Emma Woods, and she's got Abby Rock right there, shoots. And that one back behind the net. Elizabeth Giguère as well out for New York, but it's Montreal will play it towards the net. Gets the shot off. Now in front, Laura Stacey. Stacey! She shoots, and Abigail Levy absolutely covers every inch of the ice on that one.
Well, she's a big goaltender. She can get post to post pretty quickly, but Laura Stacey, what a great wraparound opportunity to take this in on her own. Montreal again, that's a long shot just to try to create something, and Laura Stacey gets in on this loose puck and tries to jam away at it. New York recipients of a pretty quick whistle. Looked like that puck wasn't completely smothered when that whistle went. And you can see Stacey battling it out in front to try to create something there.
Yeah, Johanna Fallman as well, kind of getting into the mix there with Laura Stacey. The teams reset here. Some conversations. Looks like we will reset in the same face-off circle.
Bugeaud will take this one against Alex Carpenter.
Carpenter wins it. Bourbonnais, goal scorer for New York on that first goal. Now coming up against Dalton. Bugeaud looks to free it for Montreal. Dalton now back behind the net of Levy. She'll go wide, feed it up high. Tabin with a shot, no David, and in front. Big chances in a scramble. Bugeaud was there, Dalton was there. And now New York, they'll take it away. Jessie Eldridge looks to get by. And that one will get called.
Katie Tabin's going to go to the penalty box this time for 2 minutes. 2 minutes or less, and we always qualify that in any game, but I think it's important here with the jailbreak opportunity. Of course, Tabin is signaling that it's a dive. The referee is not buying it. And in comes Tabin. She steps up here. Of course, that's another big hit. Got her hands up maybe just a little bit, just enough for this penalty to be called, but a nice one-on-one, but you can see those gloves come up just under the cage. And so she's going to come to the box. I got to think if she kept her hands down, maybe the referees would have let that go.
New York scored on their first chance on the power play in the final few seconds of it, actually. Bourbonnais to Shelton. Tees it up for Rock. Rock brings it back into the slot. Just has to keep away from Laura Stacey. Offensive-minded PK certainly does not only get your team on the board if they can score shorthanded, but freeze that player in the penalty box. And Bourbonnais tees it up. That one hard into the end boards.
This New York power play is very deadly, and they had a pair of goals in that comeback win on the power play against Minnesota, so definitely an area that they're looking to take advantage of.
And so a roughing penalty, that is what brings New York to this 5-on-4 power play situation they haven't had, because it was 4-on-4 and then 4-on-3. So this one, first chance in this game. Bourbonnais tees it up again, high slot. Looks for the pass. Gets it to Alex Carpenter. Bourbonnais winds up again. That one just wide. Rock gets her stick on it briefly, but it's been Montreal with plenty of ice and Poulin. Oh, but Bourbonnais pokes it off the stick. Some handy work, but Hobson up high. Levy gloves it. Or Bizel, rather. The other number 6 on the ice in Burgundy.
Of course, there's some incentive to go on the offense. We just talked about the fact that you can break your player out of the penalty box if you score shorthanded. So Marie-Philippe Poulin comes down, just tries that toe drag, is not able to get past Bourbonnais. The puck pops back out to Montreal. They get the point shot.
What a play by Jamie Bourbonnais. It is a New York power play, 55 seconds left. In the New York zone we go. Downey Landry wins it. So Peyton Levis will carry it out. She goes near side, just got to get by Erin Ambrose. Loose puck now. Laura Stacey looks to meet it. Hobson tries to keep it in. Abigail Levy will leave it there for Taylor Baker. No, send it around instead. All that pressure from Kristen O'Neill.
Yeah, that's a smart decision to send that puck around when you got that kind of pressure bearing in on your defenseman.
Emma Woods picks it up far side. Oh, and that one interrupted by Laura Stacey. There's Brooke Hobson. Settles it back. 15 seconds left on this 5-on-4. Chance to tie the game here for New York. They did it on the power play on Sunday when they were down 2-0 against Minnesota. Now Jade Downey Landry Tries to get her stick on it. Montreal and Tabin out of the penalty box. Right into the play. Tabin shoots that one wide. Mariah Keppel. Downey Landry scoops it up far side for New York. And shoots on Desbiens with a big stop there. Just one shot on goal for New York in that power play.
Well, and that's a good job of Montreal on the penalty kill, and a good job to pressure pucks when they had loose pucks. David does a really good job to get back and negate this opportunity. You can see her driving to the net to make sure that she takes her player away, that if there is a rebound, she's there to pick up a stick.
One could argue Montreal has had the most, certainly has had the most practice on the penalty kill, being the team with the most penalties. Coming into this game with 17, right behind them, New York with 14.
And neither team overly highly penalized right now. Of course, again, and it's early in the season to start to see some of these trends bear out, but same we see on the power play numbers and how teams are doing on special teams.
Jillian Dempsey battling it for Montreal. Chloe Aurard looking to get behind the net of Desbiens. And that one just off the post, deflected backwards is by Ella Shelton, but Montreal with some big feeds. Daid can't settle it before Shelton puts that pressure on behind. David, that one turned aside by Levy. David already with a goal, her first in the PWHL in the first period. Final minute here in the second, and Lefort can't connect. Aurard sends it over to Giguère.
It's a good job of Desbiens to set that puck so her defenseman can come back, pick it up.
Well, Teresa Vanisova getting caught up on Eldridge. She was coming down the ice in New York, able to take over back behind their own goal line. Gotta feed it out. Bourbonnais up to Eldridge. Big passes here. LaBelle can't keep it in, and Bourbonnais settles it back. Final 20 seconds here. And an icing call.
I didn't think that one went all the way down the ice, but nevertheless, they're going to call that. Again, 17.7 seconds left here in the second period. Montreal see if they can create anything off of this. Looks like their fourth line out on the note. Poulin steps out on the ice to take this face off. Maureen Murphy and Catherine Dubois. I got to think her role, Dubois, in this is to go to the net if they win the draw.
Carpenter instead for New York will battle for it. Rock along the New York blue line. Poulin has it now, and she's going to put on the speed. Just got to get by Eldridge, and Hobson sends it around. Daou, and there's the horn. So Montreal scoreless in the second period. Plenty of chances, though. Able to be good on the penalty kill, although one goal for New York just to keep things interesting.
You're right, Montreal did have some really solid scoring chances, but they weren't able to find the back of the net on any of them. So it keeps New York in striking distance. We saw how deadly that power play can be on the 4-on-3. We've seen it in previous games. So again, this team is right there in the hunt.
We'll be back with more from inside Place Bell. Montreal still with the lead, 2-1 through 40.
What are we talking about?
Montreal leads 2-1 through 2 periods in Laval, Quebec, their second home game. And for many players, they consider it a second home opener. Their first one was spoiled in overtime on Saturday. That one at Verdun Auditorium. But Becky, when you talk about a team that wants a home win, they're hungry for it. Now they find themselves still in the lead, but New York just knocking on the door as well.
They are knocking on the door, but you can start to see how these rivalries are building and the physicality between these two teams. They both won it. It's a 6-team league, and so these rivalries are building quick, and I think you're going to see them building with a lot of other teams. So this period was very physical. We saw hip checks, we saw some open ice checks, and that led to these power play opportunities. What a great power play for New York. Some really good puck movement, some good hesitation by Ella Shelton. Opens up that shot. Bourbonnais makes no mistake. Clearly they're trying to find her for that one-timer, and that is a dangerous one-time shot.
And it's her first of the PWHL. In fact, all 3 goal scorers notching their first goals. Not their first points, though, as we've talked about. Teresa Vanasova and now Ella Shelton for New York, both with 5 assists on the season. This is only game 5, let us just add, right? So players that are emerging quite early on here in the league.
Yeah, pretty impressive starts to the season. And again, it's early on, but it's only a 24-game schedule. So you want to come out of the gate strong for all of these players, but specifically for the teams. Again, we've seen that from Minnesota, and they've really established some separation. These other teams are going to have to try to catch up. If you're at the bottom of the standings right now, you don't have much time to turn things around. These two teams are battling right now in the middle of the standings, so this becomes a big game for New York and Montreal.
Absolutely. You think about only 24 games for a team in this season, and they want to get to the playoffs and get that championship. Now, Becky, when you played, you know all about the emotions, especially in your situation where a lot of it was one and done. So how about building on those emotions week after week? These two teams faced each other just 6 days ago, and it was a 5-2 win for Montreal. So I can see the revenge tour in full effect for New York.
Yeah, it certainly is. And again, you're close in the standings. We're seeing some big hits. And as the players start to get accustomed to the fact that these hits are going to be let go, you see more and more. This is Abby Rock and Marie-Philippe Poulin, of course, Vanasova going into Levy. But you see some of these rivalries coming in, too, from U.S.-Canada games, from international competition. And so there's more that builds into these games than just what you're seeing right here. And it is certainly fun to watch.
Well, we're getting word that Montreal's Laura Stacey is with us now. Laura, great to have you very quickly. We're talking about the physical play in this game. You're feeling it down there ice level. But with a 2-1 lead, how is Montreal looking to put this game away?
Yeah, I think we need to keep things simple, keep putting pucks on net, and keep putting the pedal to the metal. We don't want to sit back and just play defensively and hold the lead. We want to keep going at them, keep putting pucks to the net, and keep sticking to that game plan that's worked for us so far.
And I'm just going to ask you as well about the physical play, but also about these new rivalries that are forming. You faced New York not even a week ago. For you, does it add that little bit of extra motivation? Of course, you weren't in that first game against New York, so what has it been like out there?
For sure, it's extremely physical, and obviously it's a short season here, so every game matters, every point matters. They're a great team over there. They're physical, and we got to bring that same intensity here in the third period, if not more, and keep going at them, like I said.
And a final question, you were of course named the 3-on-3 All-Stars. How much fun is that to know that you and so many of your opponents might be playing on the same team?
I think it's exciting. I think it's great for the women's hockey game. It's great for our league. It's great for women's sports to be at the NHL All-Star game. I'm really excited for it. I'm looking forward to meeting new people, playing with some different players, and I think just overall being in the moment and enjoying it.
Well, thank you so much, Laura, for your time. Appreciate it. All right, so Montreal leads 2-1 over New York. They're hoping to be the first Canadian team to win on home ice. We'll be back with more in the second intermission. The party vibes are in full effect. Yes, it's a Tuesday night, but it's hockey night in Laval, and that'll do it. Montreal right now with a 2-1 lead over New York. Now, that might mean a lot to some, but we know in the PWHL that those leads, oh boy, the road teams seem to be getting away with all the wins, and right now that's New York. So maybe they can pull the upset, but that's a big, tall order considering they just did that in Minnesota when they were down 2-0 on the weekend.
Yeah, you're asking them to do it 2 games in a row, and you're asking them to do it against one of the best goalies in the world, and Anne-Renee Desbiens. And Montreal has been pretty good in their own zone. They're not giving up a ton of quality opportunities, so could be a tough one for New York. We'll see what they can do in the third period.
Well, Minnesota, after being handed their first loss of the season, they're still firmly in first place in the standings. They will have another crack at it, looking for some redemption. Just getting back in the win column for them, I would imagine. And they will be set to tee off against Ottawa, who's coming off a big win over Toronto.
Yeah, these are 2 teams that are coming in that have been pretty hot. Again, Minnesota with the loss, but they've been a good team so far this season, and they've got some star power in Heisey and Zumwinkle right now. Of course, Ottawa has that depth scoring that Coach Carla McLeod has talked so much about.
And for the first time, Boston will be taking on Toronto, or at least at home on Canadian soil for Toronto, and it's a big game for a team that's just looking to crack in there.
Yeah, I think Toronto is really looking to find their stride. They haven't done it yet. We've seen glimpses of it. They want 60 minutes of it. They're looking to find 60 minutes against Boston.
Well, we are so pleased to welcome into the broadcast booth right now New York head coach, general manager rather, Pascal Daou. And Pascal, it's a homecoming for you of sorts. You spent a lot of time in Montreal as well, but what's it been like to settle into New York?
Say that again. Sorry, but
it is quite loud in here. I said, what's it like to settle in to life in New York? It's been a very busy few months, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's been a very busy, but it's been a very great 2 months and 3 months, I would say, since we started the camp. It's a privilege to be in New York, to represent and to build something for that city. So, only positive stuff to say.
And Becky?
Yeah, so you come from the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. You spent a number of years there, and I wonder what brought you to the PWHL. What was enticing about it?
Well, a bit before my coming in the QMJHL, I was involved with the Carabin, University of Montreal, with women's. So a couple of those players are playing either with our team or with the opponent. But yeah, I've been fortunate to work with women, and after that stay in the CHL, I got that opportunity that comes to me. And I mean, CHL was a great experience, but now being the PWHL, it's what I was looking for.
Well, your team has shown that it has some good depth, and you have so many top scorers as well on it. Talk about how you built this team and your decisions, especially starting with your free agents.
Yeah, free agent was like a target for us to build from the center line. So having Rock and Carpenter from start was a great grab. And then having Micah Zandiar, she's still missing, and we miss her a lot, but she's about to come. So having those 3 players to start with, and then starting the draft, having again 2 great D. Our center line and our D squad was already like the main part that we're looking for, and the rest, well, as you mentioned, we have a lot of talent, a lot of depth, and look forward for that season. Still young.
Yeah, still young and so much to build on. Thank you so much for stepping in ever briefly into our broadcast booth. And it is loud in here. The party at Place Bell continues as New York looks to mount their comeback. Montreal leads 2-1 in second intermission. Well, nothing beats watching your favorite team live. These fans know it. Get tickets to PWHL games and catch all of the action. Visit thepwhl.com/tickets to secure your seats today. Now, the second period stats are brought to you by Ream Canada, and there it is. Jamie Bourbonnet's first goal of the PWHL on the power play to get New York on the board, helped by Ella Shelton and Alex Carpenter.
Well, it was a pretty crazy second period. Just the one goal, lots of physicality, and this goal comes on a 4-on-3 power play. New York able to move that puck around really well. Jamie Bourbonnet gets that one-time shot from the point that gets through traffic and is able to beat Desbiens. First time they've been able to get a puck past Desbiens here tonight. She's been solid, but you can see the temperatures flaring in this period as well. Dubois takes her man down, her player down. Abby Rock goes at it, and then Abby Rock and Poulin going face to face. Venesova charging the net, and some hip checks. Bodies were flying that period, Daniela. It was pretty exciting.
And they were called for. There was a cross-check, 2 roughing. So here we are, 2-1 lead for Montreal to start the third period. If they can pull this off, Montreal becomes the first Canadian team in the PWHL to win at home.
Still a tough task with 20 minutes left on the board. Montreal ices this puck, so New York will get this offensive zone face-off. Again, 2 of the best face-off artists in the game going at it right here, and Alex Carpenter, Marie-Philippe Poulin.
And so they'll go again, this time on the right of Desbiens, of shot right away, it's good! She scores! Jessie Eldridge makes it look too easy.
Well, and just like that, New York has tied this game up. And we talked about face-offs, the importance of face-offs. Alex Carpenter wins this one, and she wins it clean. Eldridge just walks in and snaps this one. Looks like it may have hit something. It was a little deceptive for Desbiens. Again, we'll take another look, and that one goes upstairs.
And if you're in New York, you got to be feeling pretty good. So now back-to-back games where you're able to cut a 2-0 deficit. Sure, we're back now. Anybody's game, it always is anybody's game, but 2-2, Montreal and New York. Abigail Levy in net tonight. By the way, Corrine Schroeder, who was in that game on Sunday, faced the most shots ever in a single game. Minnesota putting 41 shots on that net.
Well, New York doing exactly what they wanted to here, which is silencing this crowd.
Laura Stacey, she'll be one to change things for Montreal, given the chance. Kristen O'Neill teed up right near Levy, but it's Ella Shelton with some quick stick work. Emma Woods takes it away, shot, that one, stop. Berard was right there, but Desbiens plays it well, support from her teammates. And now Leah Lam, she's got a goal, she shoots high that time. Dempsey. And Montreal again, finding some space. Taylor Baker gets her stick on it. Lum finds some space over to Bizzle, and Dempsey bats at it. Carpenter just hoping to clear it. Lum keeps it in play for Montreal in the offensive zone. Carpenter sends it over to Eldridge. Just scored that equalizer for New York. And what a way to start the third period.
Oh, absolutely. For New York, you're putting your game plan together, and what do you have to do to get back in this game? And just like that, you are in it.
Jay Downey Landry drops it for Bourbonnet. Bourbonnet tees it up right in front. Kick save. Dalton will carry it away for Montreal, far side. Chips it over. Bourbonnet seemingly everywhere on the ice, but it's Dalton who redirects for Montreal. Takes it to the near corner. Pass it back, Hobson. And again, Downey Landry. Oh, she's getting caught up there on Sarah Bougeau. Kayla Vespa brings it back into the Montreal zone. Bourbonnet once again below that goal line. Tough to stay on their feet here. Both teams sliding on that one, and Montreal settles it back. Erin Ambrose
Well, that was just another good rub out along the boards to Catherine Dubois. Another one. Catherine Dubois is taking a bit of a beating on this shift. If you want to go down the boards, you're going to pay a price.
Well, New York fired up. They get that second goal early here in the third period, all tied up at Belfast. And Madison Packer puts a shot on net. What a play by Teresa Vanisova. She comes in fast. She's got it on Levy, and the net goes with her. There'll be a penalty.
Well, this time it looks like Vanisova has drawn the penalty. That's the second time this game she has driven the net hard. This time, though, she's the one taken down, and it's Montreal that's going to go to the power play.
Taylor Baker heading to the penalty box for New York.
Well, Vanisova certainly not scared to take this puck to the net. She keeps her feet moving. She's on her forehand side. She drives in, just trying to pull it to the forehand.
Yeah, you can see the hold call there for Taylor Baker.
Yeah, absolutely. That stick gets wrapped around. And that's a good penalty to take. When you're taking away a scoring chance, that's one you'll take. Coaches often don't like the ones that are 200 feet down the ice in the offensive zone, but one that takes away a scoring chance, that's a good one.
Montreal is 0 for 1 on the power play before this, but this is a big-time chance here. Poulin, they could get the go-ahead goal right in front. From the point was Ambrose.
3 minutes, 6 seconds.
And that'll settle it back down. The pace here, Becky, really important too.
Marie-Philippe Poulin, and again, so dangerous, but you see her on side. She makes this pass. She comes all the way to the blue line so that she can get a little bit of motion as she comes back in. The puck goes to the point earlier in the shift. She comes all the way to the blue line, looking for that pass back from the defense player so that she can get some motion as she comes back into the zone.
New York will send it down into the Montreal zone. Again, a shorthanded goal frees your player from the penalty box. Also gets you a much-needed goal. Both these teams trying to take the lead here in the third period. Lead Montreal has had since that first goal by Gabrielle David. Now Laura Stacey keys it back. Just a bit too much, and Debian plays it out. Poulin.
Debian's so confident coming out of her net, and what a help for her team when she comes out like that and makes that first pass.
Ambrose trying to stick handle her way through it. Murphy out on the line too, and again teeing it up. Ambrose cycles a big shot by Poulin. She goes down on one knee for that one. Does she shoot, pass? Back to Ambrose. Trying to create some space right in front. And it is Catherine Dubois right in front of the net of Abigail Levy. Bourbonnais tries to send it past the blue line. Abby Rock chips it there. And the whistles sound.
Laura Stacey brings that puck in just a little bit too soon, and that play is going to be offside. Montreal getting in and getting set up on this power play, really trying to spread out the box. Now they are going to have a very good opportunity as Abby Rock is going to the penalty box. Looks like this is going to be a roughing call. Huge opportunity for Montreal. Just 23 seconds left in the initial penalty to give them this 5-on-3.
Well, this is how New York scored that first goal. They had a 5-on-3. Time was winding down on that and then scored.
You can see that penalty just on the right of the screen, Abby Rock, and we talked about good penalties and ones that aren't so good. That's not one you want to take and grab a hold of your opposition's head and give her a toss to the ground, so that'll put them at a serious disadvantage right now.
A clearing shot by Ella Shelton goes into her bench. Thankfully, I think everyone's okay.
That's just a little wake-up call. Get the team awake, throw the puck into the bench like that.
So 5-on-3, 19 seconds left there for Montreal. Ambrose tees it up. Poulin. Stacey could have been, but Shelton in the way, covering Stacey, and so Montreal, final second there. So now it's 5-on-4. Taylor Baker out of the box. Here comes Montreal. They've got time and space and no puck to shoot.
Well, that's a great pass by Marie-Philippe Poulin to Maureen Murray.
In the league, goal would certainly change things. Montreal now. David looking for that feed. It just goes on its own. Catherine Daou settles it back behind the net of Desbiens. Got time, Montreal Bete. She's got room. It's a nice feed. Over in front, and that is stopped by Levy. David chases it down. Tabin there too for Montreal. Along the near wall, Norcross in the mix. And New York Shelton sends it all the way to the other net. Norcross now getting in close. 5 seconds left for this 5-on-4 for Montreal.
Norcross getting in on that forecheck, and we've seen her speed a bit tonight.
Abby Rock back out on the ice, and so back to even strength. 2 major penalty kills. Montreal only getting 1 shot on net in that last power play opportunity. They'll do it even strength. That's how they've done it before. Bugeaud feeling the end boards now, digging in, a board battle. O'Rard and Bourbonnais for New York. O'Rard gets her stick on it, but now O'Neill can't get control. Leah Lum tees it up. Big shot, that one wide again for Montreal. They've had some looks, and Bugeaud will scoop it up. Alex Carpenter with her stick on it, and New York now bring the action down into the Montreal zone. Emma Woods pressing. Downey Landry ends up passing over to Montreal. Johanna Faulman will settle it back for New York. They had a fantastic third period in Minnesota, but it was an overtime winner by Emma Woods that did it for New York in that game on the weekend. Downey Landry shoots. What a stop by Desbiens, the goaltending dialed in here, but New York gets on the board early. Nearly halfway through the third period, we're all tied at 2 in Montreal. The PWHL is brought to you by Hyundai, made for those who drive hockey. Back inside Place Bell, and there are 6,002 fans on a Tuesday night to watch their team. Montreal vying to be the first Canadian PWHL team to win at home. They would be just the second, Becky. Of course, Minnesota, the only team to have won at home so far. Still, early days here in the league, but 8 out of the first 10 wins going to the road team.
Almost an astonishing fact, isn't it? Especially the support these teams have had, that you think it would spur them on to victory, but it's really worked the opposite so far.
New York with a chance now in the offensive zone. That gets absolutely blocked now. Teresa Vanisova She's coming hot on the goaltender a few times, but now looking to play it. Claire Dalton getting caught up. That one back behind, wrapped around. At least brought into the near side wall, rather, by Poulin. Erin Ambrose from the far point. Mariah Keppel feeling that pressure from Jamie Bourbonnais, but Vanisova chips it out. Poulin there to collect, far wall. Ambrose through heavy traffic. And that catches some bodies in the middle. Now another chance. Dalton feeds it through. It's right in front. Levy with massive stop for New York. But it's still Montreal's puck. Keppel. That one right into Alex Carpenter. What a block. Dempsey back to Ambrose. High slot. Looking for patience. Traffic in front. That one wide. Keppel will collect it. Far wall. Send it back. Hobson there for New York. Big save by Levy to keep New York in it. Tied at 2. That second goal for New York here in the third period. Taven to Daoud. Taven takes it again. Big shot up high that time. Looked like Levy got a glove on it. And New York just trying to clear it out. Peyton Levis does it.
New York under some pressure right now, and Katie Taven had a nice shot from the point, just took a little off it just to make sure it got through.
Downey Landry trying to find some space, just gotta get by Taven. Now Elizabeth Giguère. Emma Woods in front. That one she fires off Desbiens. Montreal can't keep their eye on it quite, or rather New York, and so David looked to capitalize.
Katie Taven may have gotten away with a penalty at the blue line. She got that stick up and wrapped around. You could hear the crowd give a bit of a ooh. I think they knew too.
Emma Woods beats the puck along the far wall, drops it back for Downey Landry. Giguère for New York. She's got some space. Pressure from Bette. Forced to the outside. And Sophie Bette, she'll take it away. She shoots off the body. And New York collects that one, that blocked shot. Coming in, LaBelle, Desbiens. And there it goes. Players just jumping over goaltenders.
Well, that might attract a little bit of attention, and Leah Lum's in there just to make sure her goaltender's okay. And of course, you got a goalie like Renee Desbiens. You don't want a whole lot of that, but that's a nice net drive, and that's one thing both of these two teams have been doing such a good job of, is going to the net.
Well, we've crossed the halfway mark in the third period, and things are heating up in Laval. We're tied at 2, Montreal, New York. This broadcast and its content are copyrighted by PWHL Holdings LLC for the private use of our audience. All rights reserved. Any other use or reproduction of this broadcast, any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game, or any other PWHL proprietary rights without the consent of PWHL Holdings LLC is prohibited.
During the break, we saw Anne-Renee Desbiens go over to the bench. Looked a little shaken up from that hit. She seeks a little bit of attention, but she's back in the net now, having a little conversation, but that was a pretty big collision.
And Abby Rock for New York takes it after that offensive zone draw, and Shelton, she tries to shoot through traffic. There's another chance. O'Rourke, Shelton again tees it up. Big stops by Desbiens, turned away in Montreal. Oh, take it out of their own zone. Vanasova puts on the speed, drives in front of Levy. That's stopped. Abigail Levy standing tall for New York. Shots on goal only favoring Montreal slightly, 27-26.
Looks like New York may have changed their lines just a little bit. Abby Rock was not out with Alex Carpenter last shift, but she was out centering this line right now. So maybe a little switch on the New York bench. Seemed to work out all right. This line gets a chance. A little bit of ozone time, Abby Rock and Woods, and that's a nice point blank shot. Montreal does a good job to take away that stick back door. And then again, who's driving the net? Vanasova. Different side this time. She's coming in on the other side.
Speed from Emma Woods to just slide right in there, but back to it, and now Bette has a chance. She shoots, and Abigail Levy.
Bette just delayed a little, looking for some reinforcements, and then took the puck to the net.
Woods uses the M-boards to get around. New York goes for a line change. Abby Rock down deep. Bette. That pass stopped by Eldridge. But Bette again in the right place. Just got to get by. Weaves through, shoots. Kick save by Levy into the near side. Carpenter. She tries to play it out. And now, big chance, that one.
Looked like Poulin was trying to shoot back the other way as she's going to her left. Just try to pull that puck back to the glove side.
New York, heat up. Carpenter tries to keep her eyes on it. Now Montreal, Murphy to Bugeaud. Dubois as well out on the ice. And New York shoots, and Desbiens will make sure that stays out. Great goaltending on both ends of the ice.
Montreal's defensemen made sure that they did a good job to come back and protect Desbiens this time. A couple of good scoring opportunities, and this one comes out to Bette. She looks, you can see her look over her shoulder for some reinforcements, realizes she's all on her own, takes that shot, and then New York back down the other way. This one's from a bit of distance. Desbiens does a good job just to hold on to that one, smother that puck.
We'll reset the faceoff. Jade Downey-Landry taking this one for New York in the offensive zone. Jillian Dempsey for Montreal. Puck goes in the far corner, and Kayla Vespa tries to get her stick on it. Jaguar looks to meet it. New York keeps it in. Downey-Landry, Vespa. Jaguar set up, but they'll have to draw it back. Tee it up again. And an offside will slow that one down.
Linesmen have decided to take this one all the way down the ice, call that an intentional offside. Marie-Philippe Poulin will come out for this offensive zone face-off. Looks like she's going to be going up against Abby Rock once again. This will be Maureen Murphy taking this one.
Vanasova scoops up the loose puck, and now a chance for Montreal. Poulin was just dialed in there, high slot. Murphy. It's for a teammate. Montreal can't keep it in the offensive zone that time. Ambrose. She'll add some speed. Fires it down deep. Poulin and Bourbonnais rush to the end. Bourbonnais. Going to get by Vanasova. Picked up her 5th assist of the season. Murphy now in front. They score! Captain Marie-Philippe
she has the ability to do, but this is really Maureen Murphy with a beautiful feed to find Poulin on the back door. And Maureen Murphy picks off this passes errant pass, and then takes a look, finds Poulin. Poulin's able to corral that puck in on her backhand. And you see she just stops, gets that stick open, and finds the back of the net. That's a beautiful feed and a great job on her backhand, Marie-Philippe Poulin.
It's gotta feel good. Poulin denied in that overtime game on the weekend. Well, she'll get goal number 3 for Montreal in this game, in regulation. And a big lead now for the home team. Eldridge tests Desbiens right away. New York looks to even things out again. Levis adding some speed. She's looking for the pass. Has some help, but Catherine Daou working for Montreal now. Jamie Bourbonnais.
You know, when Poulin had that penalty shot in Ottawa and the crowd booed her, it almost sounded a little bit the same here when they said boo, but they are booing this time.
Jamie Bourbonnais. It's the goal that 6,000 fans here wanted to see. And now David looks for her second. She shoots. Levy turns it away. Giguère gives chase. Now Vespa. She feeds it over. New York now contending with a crowd that's singing. A happy crowd with Montreal in the lead right now.
Well, right now it's going to come down to how Montreal wants to play this last 5 minutes. Of course, New York's going to be pushing for a goal. Montreal's going to probably settle into a bit of a defensive rhythm, which is that they've got to keep a player above the puck. They always want to have a third player high, especially in the offensive zone.
And so it's Captain Clutch, Marie-Philippe Poulin, who gets Montreal the lead once again, 3-2 here in the third period. It's a PWHL doubleheader in Ontario tomorrow. The action continues January 17th, 7 p.m. Ottawa, they will host Minnesota, and then Boston visits Toronto. Both games get going 7 p.m. Eastern.
Those will be good ones. And look at what's going on here right now, and Howie Draper just had his team in, taking advantage of that timeout to draw up what he wants and the expectation he has. Of course, you're getting into these dying minutes, and he's going to want to get his goalie out of his net. So getting this puck down the ice is key for his team right now.
New York able to get their equalizer early on in the third. Now Chloe O'Rard shoots. That one up high. Abby Rock right there. Emma Woods teed up. Poulin keeps the puck away. As Keppel collects it near wall. Denisova Sends it over to Maureen Murphy. Maureen Murphy with 2 assists in this game.
And that's just a smart play to get to the red line, recognize the situation, and put it in deep, get the line change.
Laura Stacey, she tries to clear it out. O'Rard. Can't keep it there for New York. Baker.
Laura Stacey puts that puck back down the boards towards New York's bench. I don't know if it was intentional, but that certainly creates a situation where they've got to be very careful they don't have too many players on the ice.
Eldridge now skirting in, and that one is a little too much on it. New York chasing it down. Levy will play it off. Levy with 27 saves in this game. Now Carpenter flying down, shoots. Desbiens pushes it away, far side. Levis right there. She'll take it away for Montreal. And again, now New York shoots towards the net. O'Neill getting in the way for Montreal. Levis far side, circles back, shoots. Desbiens covers, no, still in play, back behind the net. Eldridge just got to get by. Catherine Dahu, here's a shot, that one high. Downey Landry with a one-timer. Bourbonnais collects the rebound. Draws it back below the goal line. New York, plenty of time here in the Montreal zone. The final 3 minutes of regulation. Elizabeth Giguère, she's looking to tee something up. Bourbonnais swarming, she opens scoring for New York. Downey Landry through traffic. It's a good play by O'Neill for Montreal to send it up to Bette. She gets caught up on Fellman and Giguère. Now New York again, right in front. That one controlled. A penalty coming, and perhaps some retaliation there as Downey Landry gets frustrated.
They're going to call an elbowing on this play, and you know, this really is just a product of New York doing such a good job to get the puck in the zone and put some pressure on Montreal. And this one-timer opens up. They have a couple of really good scoring opportunities. Watch this, just walking the lane, Levis. And then this puck goes right back out top, and they get another opportunity off of the one-timer. And then a backdoor play just can't quite connect, and we see that elbow down below the goal line. So this is a huge opportunity for New York right now. 2 minutes and 23 seconds left on the clock, and they're going to go to the power play.
Now 1 for 2 with the player advantage. Looks like the players will have some time to chat, figure out their plans. I mean, we are in the final 3 minutes of this game, a regulation win. We can't stress enough. Obviously, you want to win for the home crowd, obviously, but it's also 3 big points in the standings.
Oh yeah, you want the regulation win. You want those 3 points, especially when you start to look at the standings and trying to catch Minnesota. Imagine right now both of these coaches are going to want this opportunity to lay the groundwork. It looks like Montreal's setting up some sort of play. They want to be able to get this puck down the ice, sorting out their defensive zone coverage. And it's one of those things that early in a season like this, you may not have had a lot of opportunity to work on, specifically the 6-on-5, as you look for New York to get their goaltender out of the net.
So we meet back. Abby Rock will take this face-off for New York.
You see Abby Rock back on that line with Carpenter.
Bourbonnais. Now Shelton, they'll bring it back. Carpenter trying to find some room. Shelton, she's got all kinds of space near side. Sends it back to Carpenter, back to Shelton. Sticks on the ground low. Bourbonnais takes it. Pass back.
Goalie's out of the net, so this is a 6-on-4 now.
A big shot. Rock collects it far side. 6-on-4. Shelton shoots that one. Just wide. Woods there. Tries to collect it. New York. Carpenter. She shoots through traffic that time. And again, Eldridge tries to tee it up towards the net. Eldridge battles for it. There is an empty net on the New York side. 6-on-4. Carpenter to Bourbonnais. They'll stay on the ice. Shelton. The crowd booing here in Laval. Abby Rock trying to find some space. It just skips by. Shelton, far side. to Rock. They've got the time. Big shot. That one in front. Woods was right there. And now a penalty. Interference being called on Emma Woods, and the crowd's going to like that.
On Emma Woods, a little incredulous that this was called, and she's going to go to the penalty box. That is a huge break for Montreal, who was having difficulty getting this puck back and getting it down the ice. Of course, a 6-on-4 is liable to do that for you, but this means the puck goes 200 feet down the ice. Montreal is going to get this offensive zone face-off, and New York's got to put their goaltender back in the net.
Yeah, Emma Woods got for goaltender interference, and that's the second goaltender interference call in this game, although the first one was taken by Montreal. So now it's 4-on-4 hockey. 1:05 left in the third. Montreal with a lead, a hometown lead late here in regulation. And that's a big shot off by Taven, not quite how she wanted it. Abby Rock, collect herself, Bourbonnais. 32 seconds left for this.
You see Levy just keeps trying to come out of the net, and they turn the puck back again. She tries to leave New York, turns it back again. This time she's going to the bench.
All right, so Levy out of the net. Carpenter with a puck. She shoots. That one off the stick and the skate. Now Bourbonnais keeps it in check for New York. But Erin Ambrose, she knows there's an empty net on the other side. Montreal has the lead.
Well, it's a savvy play by Ambrose down below the goal line to fake that shot and turn back the other way.
And now Katie Taven finds the puck, the crowd. And right there, Catherine Dahu out of the penalty box, getting right on Abby Rock. Montreal will just send it down deep. Why not? Final 10 seconds here as Montreal is forced to regroup.
Montreal will leave those 4 players on the ice, and they're looking a little bit fatigued. They'll have to come back down here and defend. So one thing that you're trying not to do at that stage of the game, you got to get the puck out, but you don't want to send it all the way down the ice and take the icing if you can help it.
New York, 9.5 seconds to tie this game.
We talked about the importance of face-offs all night long, and of course this one is a huge one for both teams. Both coaches drawing up their plan, their expectation, but it really all hinges on the face-off. And part of that, too, is your recovery. If you lose the puck, you got to get it in. If you're New York, you got to recover it quickly and get it back out into a scoring position.
And this outcome right now, this score, 3-2, it's how both these teams finished their overtime games on the weekend. But Montreal, their home opener spoiled. This really was a redemption round for them. First game here at Place Bell. And the home crowd settled in, a crowd of 6,002 fans on a winter's Tuesday night in Laval. It'll be Alex Carpenter taking the face-off for New York. Massive opportunity here.
Poulin just came out onto the ice. She was sent back off in favor of Dahu by the officials.
Kristen O'Neill will take the draw for Montreal. Empty net for New York, so that's why it's 5-on-5. Emma Woods in the penalty box.
And Alex Carpenter in the face-off circle, trying to win this on her strong side to Abby Rock.
Fight for it, though. Shooting it at the time, right in front of the net. Carpenter was there. Final seconds. Wind down. Montreal does it. Montreal wins. First Canadian team in the PWHL to win at home. Just the second to do it. And what a win it was. The game winner by their captain, Marie-Philippe Poulin.
Well, this is exactly what we thought we had scripted out in their home opener just a couple nights ago. The game winner by Marie-Philippe Poulin. That one was called back. This one will stand. So for this crowd of 6,000 plus people, they got to see their hero and their captain score the game winner here tonight in a Montreal win.
It is a party at Place Bell. It was during the intermissions, but now even more so. This crowd on their feet, happy to cheer on a home win.
Well, it sets this team in the right direction, and we've seen so many good things from this team, and so certainly this is a huge win for New York. They'll go back to the drawing board, but what a great come-from-behind effort for the New York team as well, and you can see a few frustrations as they go off the ice. That is a game that they wanted. They came back, they tied it up, but they couldn't complete it.
But New York made it so tight, took it all the way to the third. They tied it early on in this period, 2-2, and then Montreal able to get ahead and celebrating center ice, all the smiles. You know, we talk about the standings, but that's what it's about. It's just about that pride and joy you feel for your city, for the name on the jersey. And for Montreal, again, they now get history on their side, the first Canadian team. And who knows, perhaps Ottawa, Toronto could add to that tomorrow night in their doubleheaders.
Well, this is a Montreal team that definitely you want to soak this in. And we saw this in the first game of the season where Coach Carla McLeod had said that in Ottawa. Enjoy this moment. For a lot of these athletes, it's the first time they've been in an environment like this. Obviously, these guys, this team got to do it just a couple nights ago, but this time they got to come off the ice with the victory, and they're enjoying this moment.
Montreal wins 3-2 over New York. We'll be back for more from Place Bell. More than 6,000 fans at Place Bell to witness Montreal's first home win. And applaud and cheer on Captain Marie-Philippe Poulin, who's out on the ice right now. The player of the game brought to you by Canadian Tire.
Well, and our player of the game tonight is Marie-Philippe Poulin with the game winner off a pass from Maureen Murphy, her line mate, and she's able to put it in the back door. One of the most prolific goal scorers in Canadian women's hockey history, and she gets it done here for the home crowd.
And Abigail Levy did what she could for New York. New York, of course, getting the equalizer early on in the third, but it wasn't enough, so they go home without any points. And Montreal gets a much-needed boost in the standings with 3 big points in regulation.
Well, and that just puts them one back of Minnesota, so things are starting to get tight. We thought they would, only 6 teams. It's going to start to separate itself out. Montreal's put themselves in a good spot.
And a couple teams have games in hand, so with that, Montreal gets redemption from their home opener that was spoiled on the weekend at Verdun Auditorium. So they said, hey, what? Let's get a bigger crowd. Let's do it at Place Bell, and we'll get a 3-1 win on home ice. Montreal making history with the first home win on Canadian ice. On behalf of Becky Keller, the PWHL, our incredible broadcast crew, I am Daniela Ponticelli, signing off from